This week on the Digital Coffee, Instagram has been messing with its navigation yet again. Facebook is getting rid of Creator Studio and long tweets are a coming. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome back to the Digital Coffee, your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for business. And of course, it hasn't been a weekly show because we have been off air for 3 weeks and it feels weird to be back. So thank you so much for joining us. I can see we've got a few people on already. So do let me know. Firstly, I look sadly into my cup because there is nothing in there, but I would love to know what's in your cup. Are you drinking tea or coffee as you watch the show? Is it water? Is it something else? And I'd also love to know where you're watching. So I can see we've already got Lee here on Facebook who's saying Happy New Year and he's drinking coffee. If you're watching on LinkedIn, I'd love to know. If you're watching on Twitter, I'd love to know, but I probably won't find out till later, just the way the system works. And YouTube, if you're on YouTube, I'd love to know. I also have a question of the week. I had to put my glasses on to remember what it is because glasses help you remember, apparently. It is when you get an email, how long do you think you spend reading it? As usual, if you have an answer to that question, we are going to find out what the answer is. What is the average time people read emails for later on? But while I gather all my stuff together, let's talk to the fastest man in the world.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Jeremiah J-Man Monero with J-Man Speaks from New York, and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Make it a great day.
Having a good, clear navigation on your website is crucial. It's crucial if you want to sell stuff. It's crucial if you want people to know about you because they are able to find their way around. And it seems like Instagram just realized this. Well, they just remembered it because it used to be clear. Instagram boss Adam Mosseri, as we believe he is called, announced this week that they are going to be changing the Instagram navigation back to something that looks incredibly familiar. They are bringing the Create tab down to the bottom middle where it always used to be, which was good, right? Because it's easy. You go in, you just click the button right in front of you and create. And they're also getting rid of the shop button. As you can see, it is missing. It is missing from that shot. But it's okay. They're not getting rid of shops. We know they've taken a step back from shops because people aren't buying online as much now that the pandemic is kind of over. So you will still be able to add shopping tags to your posts, to your stories, to your reels. They'll still be there. There's just not going to be a dedicated shop tab, which honestly, I don't think is a bad thing. Now I can see we've got Simon here watching on YouTube. I have to dodge away everywhere. Have a look. So I'm going to get used to this glasses on. One day I may keep them on the whole show. Pink waving hand. I'm not sure if that is an emoji that's just come that way. Great to see you, Simon. Thanks for watching there on YouTube. Again, if someone's watching on LinkedIn, do tell me. If you're watching on Twitter, I will catch up with you later. Lee says she doesn't spend long enough looking at emails. You've sometimes replied and then reread it and thought you were totally not replying to what you thought you were. That has happened to us all, Lee. Definitely, I've done that too. So that is the question of the week. If you've got an opinion or if you've got a guess on how long you read an email for, I would love to know your thoughts on that.
Hi, I'm Carol Phillips from Laguna Beach, California, and I'm here watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Hi!
Facebook it's just so complicated now, isn't it? Because we've got Facebook groups, Facebook pages, and within pages you might have the classic page or the new page experience, and then profiles, which was always where we just made friends. Now you can turn those into creator profiles and you can see analytics there. So they're a little bit like pages. And then when you're managing your account, you've got a business manager, which does still kind of exist, but it takes a few clicks to get there, where you set stuff up. And then you've got you've got Creator Studio, which is a lovely way that you can schedule content both to Facebook and Instagram, very user friendly, which is unusual, to be honest. Facebook, right? And then we got Business Suite. And I probably even missed some of the stuff there because it's very busy indeed. So Facebook are getting rid of one of those, and the one they're getting rid of is Creator Studio. We've kind of known that for a while, that they were going to eventually get rid of it, but now seems like a terrible time. Why? Well, they're replacing Creator Studio with Business Suite, and they've been slowly doing this over time. They've slowly been getting us used to Business Suite. Business Suite has a lot of the functionality that Creator Studio does, but not all of it yet. And they haven't finished this rollout, which is why I'm kind of shocked that they've made this announcement that Creator Studio is going away. There's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been migrated over. And having worked with clients, I know that their Business Suite often doesn't have all the features I do, and I sometimes don't have all the features they do. So it's just not ready to happen. This is going to be an utter nightmare for people who market their business on Facebook. And in particular, let's just have a moment of thought for social media managers who are going to have to deal with this. I'm not happy with you today, Facebook. I'm not happy. I can see we've got some more comments. We've got Simon here, who's managed to make his proper emoji here from his iPhone because my system wasn't interpreting his other one. Thank you for sending that. Now, you can see there's lots of people watching. I would love to know what you're drinking right now, because I know you have something nice in your cup and mine is empty. Gazes sadly at her cup. I'd love to know what is in your mug today, and I'd also like to know how long do you think you read emails for, and particularly give me a shout out. We've got people on Facebook here, we've got people from YouTube. I'd love to know if you're watching on LinkedIn. So hello, LinkedIn. There's Ginny. Great to see Ginny, who she's having her first tea, or you've had your first tea. I had a tea too, so I don't feel so left out anymore.
I'm Esther.
And I'm Melanie.
From the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast.
And you're watching the Digital Coffee
with Amanda Webb.
You can now, on Twitter, if you go there even now, but don't go there even now, watch the show first. You can now swipe between the algorithmically layered feed and the non-algorithmically fire hose feed. So by that, in your algorithmically labeled feed, that's where you see things in non-chronological order, in an order that Twitter thinks that you're going to be more likely to engage with. And you also get tweet suggestions and all other stuff in there. The other feed is just every tweet from everyone you follow in chronological order. Now, this isn't new. They've been experimenting with this before, but what is new is what they're calling it. Your main feed, so the algorithmic feed, is now called the For You feed, or the For You tab. Now, although the layout here is not particularly new, the name is what's really interesting to me here. So, For You, where did we first hear that term, For You? It was on TikTok, wasn't it? So obviously Elon Musk, or somebody else who works for the company, but let's just assume it's Elon Musk, has been thinking about how popular TikTok is and how he could tap into how popular TikTok is, which he's going to need to do if Twitter is going to survive. And he's thought, well, look at this, For You. People like For You. So when people come over from TikTok to Twitter, it's going to seem like a more familiar space. Just the language that is really interesting here. This is something we could already do, but also by making it simpler to do, you are going to be able to choose your feed. I can see we've got a comment here from Simon. Yes, it will be interesting to see. We talked about ChatGPT before Christmas, which is what everyone is talking about in my business at the moment. It's an AI tool, chat tool, and you ask it questions and it gives you answers. So you can just ask it to write a sales page for you, or you can ask it, like I did, find me some sources for the digital coffee, and it came up with a whole load of new websites that I can start looking for new. So it's a really good tool. We talked about it on the Christmas show, so if you want to know more about it, go back there. Right, what's next?
I'm Esther
And I'm Melanie.
from the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast
And you're watching the Digital Coffee
with Amanda Webb.
Is it okay to change your USP? I mean, as businesses, isn't this thing that we talk about all the time? We need our USP. What is our USP? It's a really hard thing sometimes to nail. In fact, many of us have never correctly nailed our USP. It looks like Twitter thinks it's possible to change it anyway, because you've heard the news. Twitter are going to increase the character limit of tweets from 280 characters to 4,000 characters. Now, this is odd because I would have said the USP of Twitter, what makes it different from other social networks, is the short, snappy updates. It's quick and easy to consume. It's enjoyable to consume in that format. It was what even came up with the name of a microblogging platform. So this is no longer microblogging. This is like full format blogging. On top of that, you're also going to be able to style your text. You're going to be able to add bold or underline or italics to your text. It's not all bad because you're not going to see this full of information in your feed. It will show the first 240 characters and you'll have to click to see more. And I know people have been using Twitter threads to tweet longer than 280 characters before as well, which is an effective way of doing it. But there was always a little bit of work involved in that. You still had to think. It was still like, how do you split it into good chunks? Whereas this just means that you can blur out a whole load of rubbish. As you may have guessed, I'm not a fan. More so because it's just going to completely change what Twitter's about. So I'm not excited. I'm not excited at all. And going back to Simon's point about Chat GPT, people are just going to stick in rubbish that robots write for them. Exactly. This is Ginny's comment. Yes. 4,000 characters. What's the point of Twitter if it's long form? Exactly. Not Twitter anymore. I've lost my joy of Twitter, I have to say, since this whole thing started.
Hello, this is Nicole from Wonderstars, and you are watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
When you market to younger people, it's really important. I can't believe I'm even have to say this. It's really important that you are responsible when you market to children, people under 18. Seems like Meta just copped onto this because they are changing the way that you can advertise to under 18s. So at the moment, they treat it exactly the same as advertising to adults as far as targeting goes. Now that's going to change. In fact, the only way you are going to be able to target people under 18 from now on will be by age. So you'll be able to say, I'm targeting people under 18, and by location. That means no interest, no demographics. Well, apart from obviously their age and location, which you won't be able to target by gender, for example. I think this is good on two counts. Firstly, I think this is great for local businesses that work that have children as part of their audience, or under 18s. I mean, I'm sure somebody who's 16 doesn't want to be called a child, but younger people in their audience. It's going to be really great for those businesses because they're going to have that opportunity to tap into exactly their audience that are local to them. I also think this is going to be hugely reassuring for parents. I still think, there are a lot of parents out there that aren't tech savvy, or even if they are, there are huge concerns about what their children are doing online, which can only be exasperated by the ads that they're seeing online. So takes time sometimes. You'd think Meta would have come up with this before, but no, they've only just decided. I'd love to know if you do advertise to younger people, what are your thoughts on this? I can see Lee is commenting about Twitter. You've lost some faith in Twitter. They've had some major security issues as well. You know what I think the weird thing is? They've always had big security issues, but a lot of the time people only cared about when Facebook had the security issues. Now we're seeing more focus being put on what Twitter is doing. So there you go. There you have it.
Hi, Sasha Lydia from Think Outside the Bot, and you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Meta has been using your data from Meta for personalised ads without the correct consent. And that's according to, gets my nose because it's a complicated name, the Data Privacy, where am I, America? The Data Privacy Board, based in Ireland. And it's based in Ireland because it deals with GDPR complaints for the whole area of the EU. They have concluded that because Meta includes the consent to use your information for personalized ads in the terms and conditions of using the site, that is a breach. That is not consent as far as they're concerned, and they find them a whole lot of money. What does this mean for us as marketers? Well, I'm sure they're going to contest this. You know, there's going to be lots of stuff happening on this personalized ad level for a while. But in general, as marketers, particularly as digital marketers, we've become to rely on personalized information about social networks, knowing about their audience. We've come to rely on cookies, and we all know that is slowly going away. The future for marketing is going to not be cookie or data as far as personalized data focused. We're going to have to start looking at different ways to reach our audience, which is probably bad news for social networks, but it's probably good news for us as human beings. And as a marketer, of course, I'm terrified of this. You know, everything I know about marketing has been digital. That's when I started marketing. So I have to learn a whole new set of skills, but also I find that incredibly exciting. And I think we all should as well. It's for the good of the world.
This is Making Sang, first name Making, from the FOMO Creator, and you have been watching the Digital Coffee Show with Amanda Webb.
Don't believe people who tell you that email marketing is dead. It is alive and well and living in my house, in my office right now. But there are some issues with people's attention span when it comes to emails. And that's why I've been asking the question, how long do you actually read emails for? Apparently, in 2018, the average time that people spent reading an email was 13.4 seconds in 2018. 4 years later, in 2022, it was 9 seconds. So what does this tell us as marketers? How can we adapt this information? What should we do with this information? Well, it seems to me it's clear we need shorter, straight to the point emails that are laid out in a way that so people can scan through and see the information that they want. We need to cut the fluff. We need to get straight in with a hook that will want people to keep reading the email. Shorter is going to be better, but if it's long, just make it easy to navigate. Or that's my thoughts. I'm sure there's some other things that you can do when you want to capture the attention of the people that stay for 9 seconds. And 9 seconds, by the way, that's the good news. The bad news is that 30% of people only look at emails for 2 seconds. We've all got some work to do, don't we? Well, that is it. Oh, it's not it, because at the beginning, because I'm out of practice, I've got to tell you. I run a Google Analytics course, Google Analytics training. I'm offering one-to-one training right now, but that will be changing in February because I'm implementing a group training program for Google Analytics, and because of that, I've had to put up the price of my one-to-one training. So if you want to grab my one-to-one training at the extremely great value price of €500 plus VAT, scan this QR code and that will bring you through to the page where you can find out more about my one-to-one training. That now is finally it for this week. We are going to be relaunching the Extra Shot, which was the Twitter space that I co-hosted with the wonderful Making Sang, FOMO creator. We're going to be moving it though from Twitter, and it's 4,000 characters, over to LinkedIn, and that will be starting in February. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it because I'll actually be able to talk to you all. I will see you same bat time. I forgot my line. Same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.